Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Today's going to be a wild ride, so buckle up. We're diving into some big stories that are shaking things up. From Tesla's dream of Robotaxis driving us around, yeah, no drivers, to TD Bank getting into some seriously sketchy trouble with money laundering. We've also got news on rising prices because, of course, Social Security giving out a tiny raise like it's a big deal, and Delta Airlines hitting some turbulence. Sound exciting? Let's get into it. All right, folks, Tesla's back in the headlines, and this time, they're promising us a future that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie, Robotaxis. Imagine hopping into a car with no driver, just pure artificial intelligence zipping you around. Sounds cool, right? But here's the twist. Elon Musk has been talking about this for a while, and now it seems like the dream is getting real. He just announced that Tesla's Robotaxis are on the horizon, and he's aiming to shake up the entire transportation industry. Musk, being Musk, of course, made some pretty bold claims, saying this could lead to millions of self-driving cars on the road soon. Now, competition is fierce, especially in China. Companies like Baidu, WeRide, and Pony.ai are already testing their robotaxi fleets. So, while Musk is busy hyping up his vision, the Chinese players are already on the move. The real challenge? Convincing regulators to let these autonomous cars roam free, especially given all the safety concerns and legal hurdles. The robots may be ready, but are we? Here's another twist. With so much tech jammed into these cars, will they even be affordable for regular people? Or are we talking about luxury rides for the elite? Plus, let's not forget the million-dollar question. Will people trust a car with no human behind the wheel? Are you ready to trust your life to a car that thinks it knows where it's going better than you do? So, TD Bank, one of the biggest banks in North America, just got hit with a massive $3 billion penalty. Why? Well, it turns out they failed pretty miserably at keeping an eye on some seriously shady transactions. We're talking about money laundering linked to drug cartels. Yup, that's right. Drug money was flowing through TD, and they either didn't notice or didn't care enough to stop it. What's worse is that this isn't some small mistake. The bank pleaded guilty to criminal charges for not following anti-money laundering rules. For a bank of this size, you'd think they'd have their act together, but apparently not. Now, along with that massive fine, TD is facing some serious restrictions on its business growth in the U.S., the Department of Justice, the Federal Reserve, and even FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, all had their hands in this case. It's like TD got called out in front of the entire financial world. Shares of TD took a nosedive after the news broke, which isn't surprising when you consider how damaging this is to their reputation. People expect banks to protect their money, not let it get tangled up with criminals. With trust in financial institutions already shaky, this definitely doesn't help. So, the real question is, how much can you trust the big banks after something like this? Hey everyone, just when we thought inflation might chill out, here comes the latest data for September. And guess what? Prices are still going up, just not as fast as they were a few months ago. The Consumer Price Index report shows inflation is sticking around, with costs for essentials like food, rent, and healthcare climbing. At this point, it's like trying to outrun a bear. You might get a few steps ahead, but it's still coming for you. The big question on everyone's mind is, how will the Federal Reserve react? They've been playing this game of raising interest rates to slow down inflation, but with the economy showing surprising resilience thanks to a strong job market, they might have to keep those rates higher for longer. And we all know what that means for borrowing money, right? Yep, higher rates for loans, mortgages, and credit cards. Fun times. Meanwhile, wages are going up too, but are they really enough to keep up with these price hikes? If your paycheck's getting bigger but everything costs more, are you really better off? It's a classic economic puzzle that's driving everyone nuts. So, do you think we're finally on the road to recovery, or is inflation just playing hard to get? Social Security just announced a 2.5% increase in benefits for 2025. Exciting, right? Well, hold your applause because 2.5% isn't exactly going to make anyone rich. For context, that's the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, designed to help retirees and those on disability keep up with inflation. But with everything from groceries to gas prices soaring, this little bump might feel more like a drop in the bucket. The Social Security Administration says it's all based on the CPI, so if inflation stays high, the increase stays low. Convenient, huh? What's really crazy is that people have been talking for years about how the Social Security system is running out of money, but when it comes to actually fixing it, crickets. Retirees and people relying on these benefits are going to need every penny. But let's be real. 2.5% isn't keeping up with the rising cost of just about everything. So, what's the plan, Washington? Maybe it's time to stop kicking the can down the road. How long do you think Social Security can keep this up before it really starts to crumble? Heads up, travelers! Delta Airlines just revealed it took a $380 million hit, and the reason? A tech outage caused by CrowdStrike. If you're like, wait, isn't CrowdStrike a cybersecurity company? Yep, it is, and a big part of Delta's digital operations depends on them. But when their system crashed, it caused some serious chaos, and Delta's profits took a dive in the third quarter of 2024. As if that weren't enough, the airline is also feeling the heat from election season, with people flying less due to all the political drama. Less travel equals less money in Delta's pocket. The summer wasn't exactly a smooth ride either. Delta had to deal with rising fuel costs, which also ate into their earnings. Even though the airline bounced back somewhat, the forecast for the rest of the year isn't looking too rosy. Investors aren't thrilled, and Delta's stock has been wobbling. They're optimistic about the future, but we've all heard that song and dance before. So, is this the price of relying too much on tech, or just another bump in the road for airlines? And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for hanging out while we dug into driverless cars, bank blunders, and inflation woes. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more news with a twist. Oh, and stick around because up next, we've got a special treat for you, a song we put together about all this craziness. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and enjoy the music.
Tesla's rolling out a ride. Robotaxis, no need to guide. Elon's vision driving fast. The future's here, it's built to last. In China, rivals race ahead. We ride pony forging tread. But Tesla's aiming for the crown. Will they bring the others down? Robotaxis on the street. No drivers, just machines to meet. Elon's pushing, skies are clear. The future's driving closer here. TD Bank is paying big, $3 billion, what a hit. Money laundered through their doors. Cartels playing, breaking laws. Assets capped and trust is lost. Now they're feeling heavy cost. Fines so high, growth on hold. TD's future hard to mold. $3 billion down, TD pays. Money laundering, shadow days. They'll fight to rise, but will they fall? A heavy price, they've lost it all. Inflation's rising, can't ignore. September's costs keep rising more. Groceries, rent all too steep. People struggle, losing sleep. The Fed's unsure, what's the call? Raise the rates or let it stall. Everyone's feeling the squeeze. Will this pressure ever ease? Prices climbing, hard to live. Not much left that we can give. Inflation's grip won't let go. How long till it starts to slow? Social Security brings a raise to 3.5% for coming days. Retirees see a little more, but costs still keep knocking at the door. It's a help, but not enough. Living now is getting tough. Inflation makes it hard to cope, but that raise gives a touch of hope. Social check will rise next year. A little boost to fight the fear, but even with a small relief, inflation's bite is sharp and brief. Delta's dealing with the strain, outage cost and summer pain. Elections keeping flights at bay. 380 million slipped away, but Delta's strong, they'll find a way to rise again and fly one day. Their guidance low, but hope is high. They'll keep on soaring through the sky. Delta's hit, but they'll rebound. Outages brought profits down. They'll keep on pushing, skies are blue. Delta's flying back to you. From Tesla's rise to banking woes. Inflation high, but life still goes. Social checks and Delta's flight. Through it all, we'll find the light. Inflation's rise to banking woes. Inflation high, but life still goes. Social checks and Delta's flight. Through it all, we'll find the light.